I was due to go to Africa on behalf of UNICEF, and I had a yellow fever jab, which is essential to get into the country. And within a day, I was really suffering very badly from a high fever, and I had a tremendously. This fever continued for several days, and eventually I went to hospital. And during the period that I had the fever, I started going crazy. I started seeing things. My electronic reader seemed to fly across the room, and I thought that I had supernatural powers.
So what were some of the things that you were experiencing mentally as you were going through this?
Well, in about week 2 of this, I started to think that I was the Messiah, which was really quite bizarre. I believed that I was being contacted by guardian angels who were friends of mine who died prematurely, war correspondents who'd been shot in places, and I thought that they were sending me messages to the effect that I was the Messiah. It was quite an uplifting experience because I thought that I was here on the earth to do good. But this period of being the Messiah eventually disappeared after medication. But I had several relapses after that, and those
things got considerably worse.
Well, it certainly did. I eventually lost my job in Athens, so we had to move to Denmark, where my wife comes from. And we went there because we had to throw ourselves onto the mercy of the state. And I really did collapse in a very bad way there. And I started to think that I was the devil because I thought that I was going to starve my wife and child to death. And I went into a very black hole there, which lasted for quite some time.
What did this do to your family?
The whole experience has ruined us completely, financially, and it's had a devastating emotional effect. My wife has been really quite extraordinary in supporting me all the way through. At the time that I started to go mad in 2011, my son Lucas was just 12 years old, and he was a very innocent boy. And suddenly he saw me going mad in front of his eyes, and it just transformed his life completely. He had to grow up, and it's taken him, the best part of 2 years to get over this.
Can you prove any connection between what happened to you and the yellow fever jab?
Well, it's the only thing that possibly could have happened to me because I have absolutely no history of mental disease in my family or by myself. But what's really interesting is that when the Daily Telegraph published excerpts of this book, they had to get a comment from Sanofi Pasteur, which is the manufacturer of the yellow fever jab. They admitted for the very first time that there have been cases where people have been sent mad by the yellow fever vaccine.
But they haven't accepted any responsibility in your case?
No, they claim that there's nothing that my illness is nothing to do with them. And what they're trying to suggest is that there was some sort of predisposition on my part towards mental illness, and that's completely untrue.
Do you think you've made a full recovery?
At the moment, I'm still on medication. The doctors are saying that there's no certainty about my recovery, but they say that it is possible that I could do that. I hope that I'm a survivor, and I hope that I've got a strong constitution, and I've got a lot of determination to make sure that I stay sane.
Malcoolm Brabant, thank you very much for coming in to talk to us about this.
You're welcome.